Hey, what is up, disc golfers? Today on IceBerg TV, I want to talk about a particular style of disc that if you throw it, it will make you a better player. And although it can be frustrating at first, throwing the deep dish style putters, it's a bit of an acquired taste, but if you get good at throwing a deep dish style putter, something like the Discraft Luna, it will make you so much better at throwing any other type of disc. The reason why I think this is because these, particularly the deep dish style beadless putters, they do not have much off-axis torque resistant. They're not going to tolerate if your form isn't at least pretty good. They're going to point out your mistakes relatively quickly. Now, when it comes to throwing putters, which is what we're going to be talking about today, I like to think of it as a beginner level, an intermediate level, and an advanced level. Now, the beginner level, I would stick with something, if you've not had much experience throwing deep dish style putters, beaded putters at first are definitely going to be your friend. If you don't know what a bead is, it's this little chunk here on the bottom of the disc. Some people like these for putting, some people like these for throwing, but what the bead does is it adds drag to the disc. It also potentially adds torque resistance to the disc. So if you have off-axis torque in your throw, you know, things aren't quite perfect, this bead is going to help cover up some of those mistakes that you're making. So when it comes to beaded putters, you could use a KC Pro AVR, you could use a Wizard, any beaded putter will do. I have Wizards here today. The bead adds quite a bit of stability and they're not going to turn over like some of the other options that you're going to see today. So let's give the Wizard a quick throw. You can see it has a nice level of stability. But what this is going to help you learn to do is figure out what grip works for you. So it has the flight characteristic of a torque resistant and stable disc, but it has the feel and hand of like a deep dish style putting putter. Now the next step up, I'm going to call this intermediate level, is going to be the deep dish beadless putter. My choice for this slot is going to be the Swirl Z Luna. You can get yours over at Disc Golf Deals USA. I have a discount code at the link in the description below. Now, discs like this, the deep dish style beadless putters, they're going to have a lot more turn in the mid-flight. And if you throw with a lot of off-axis torque, it's not going to work out well. They're going to turn over. They're going to turn into rollers. They're just going to go super far to the right, way more than you want. And you're not going to be very consistent with them. But the whole point of this is getting better. And if you can throw a deep dish style beadless putter well, I'm pretty confident you can grab any disc in your arsenal and also throw it well. So I don't necessarily think you need this in your competition bag, but when you're out practicing on the course, you should have a couple deep dish style putting putter style discs that you're throwing as well, because it's going to help you fix those mistakes in your form. It's going to help you know what you're doing wrong. And again, it's going to help you be a better player. So intermediate level is beadless deep dish putter. The key to putters to get them to fly well is just to make sure you give them enough height. That's something that I really struggle with. If you're watching the channel for any amount of time, I played a lot in Florida, and in Florida, you don't have room to put the discs up in the air, but pretty much anywhere else, you can throw your discs up in the air. So now let's talk about the advanced level here. This is going to be the most difficult style of disc for people to learn, but if you can throw these, you can pretty much throw anything. We're going to talk about the hybrid catch disc style slot. Now, this could be a polecat, this could be a glitch, this could be a Zephyr. It could be any style of disc that has this very, very deep style to it. And then it adds extra difficulty because these tend to be not completely in max weight. So even more so than the beadless deep dish, these catch style discs are going to point out your mistakes even farther than the previous option. So now that we've talked about the three different styles of throwing putters, again, we have the basic level, which would be beaded putters. This Wizard is a perfect example. Then intermediate, we have the Luna, which is a deep dish style beadless putter. Less torque resistant, but also much more glidey and much more shapeable once you figure out how to throw it. And then expert level is going to be these glitches, going to be any sort of lightweight catch style disc. These are by far the hardest to throw, but if you can throw a glitch, I believe that you can throw anything, at least as long as you can throw it well. Now let's talk about one of the forgotten arts in the modern disc golf game. We're going to talk about the fan grip. Now the fan grip is something that a lot of pros use, but we don't hear them talking about it very much. Pros just grip how they grip. They don't really talk about it very much. Most players use a 4-finger power grip, which looks like this. What we're going to do with our grip today is I like to sprawl these fingers out a bit more. Put your fingers wherever they're comfortable, anywhere but here. You'll find that you get a much more clean release. You're able to control your angles. You're able to remove some of that off-axis torque, and you're going to get the disc to come out of your hand a lot easier than you do with this 4-finger power grip. Another option is a pinch grip, which is when you pinch your index finger and your thumb together, and then we fan out the rest of our fingers. You can use whichever grip feels the best for you, but for putters, I'm a big fan of the overall just normal fan grip. So now that you've chosen your grip, the only thing you need to do now is go out and practice. I like to keep a few of these in my bag so I can really work on each and every shot. I like to use the beaded putters for the flat and for the Anheuser shots. I like to use the deep dish beadless for the straight shots. Anheisers, it's kind of a do-it-all disc. And then I like to use those hybrid catch discs for up high in the air turnover shots. So let's start off with the Wizard. We'll go with an Anheuser line. So nice Anheuser shot. And that's not a shot you're really going to be able to do with those hybrid catch discs unless you want to throw it with much more height. Now let's go with the Luna. Again, going with that fan grip. Get it up nice and high. And you can see it's still wanting to have a little bit of finish at the end. Really, once they get turning, for the most part, they stay turned. Big tailwind kicked up, stabled that glitch out. It's fun to practice these in a tailwind because, again, tailwind's going to help stable those discs out and cover up some of those mistakes you're making. But again, if you don't put them up in the air, those putters aren't going to go. The last thing that I want to talk about is going to be the footwork. When I'm throwing any disc, if I'm throwing it slow, my footwork is slow. If I'm throwing it fast, my footwork is fast. The pace of your throw, I think dictating the pace of your feet will help you be more consistent. So we'll throw a slower shot, we'll throw a medium speed shot, and then we'll throw a fast shot. We're throwing back into the headwind. So this is really going to test, when you're throwing into a headwind, your abilities to throw it well. Okay, because these catch discs into a headwind will truly point out your mistakes more than anything. So let's give it height, let's give it hyzer, and we'll have a nice slow footwork here. Perfect, a nice little dead straight turnover shot. So now we'll bring the tempo up a little bit. Again, making sure we're using that fan grip. We're giving it a little bit of height, but we're gonna speed it up just a little bit here. The fun thing about putters is once you learn to throw them with height, you can actually get them to go quite far. And now we've got the Wizard here, the most stable option. So this will be the one I'm the most confident throwing hard. Now, even though I'm throwing it hard and I'm going to use more arm speed, I'm still going to use a fan grip. If you've never done a fan grip before, it will shock you how powerful you can still be with just a simple fan grip. So now we're going to speed it up a little bit. All right, guys, so I just gave you a ton of tips about how to get better with your throwing putters. I would highly advise adding at least 2 of these different styles into your bag. When you're out practicing, just go out there, throw them, try and shape lines, try and get them up in the air, practice with the fan grip, practice your footwork, and I promise you're going to get a lot better with your putters. And when you can throw your putters, you can throw so many more fun lines, those super high turnovers, those laser beam dead straight shots. Putters are so fun once you learn to throw them well, and the better you get at disc golf, the more you'll find yourself reaching for the putter over and over again. So I hope there's a tip in this video that clicks for you. If something clicked for you, comment down below. You guys are watching IceBerg TV. Thank you so much for watching my channel, and take care.